going to make him at 88 have $2.5 million, and he should have had $25 million.
I actually agree with Dave here, kind of. You see, if you watch this video, Dave talks about using a mutual fund over a whole life policy. And if we're comparing the two, I might actually agree with the mutual fund over the whole life because you can get better returns inside of a mutual fund. But at the same time, you still get way better tax benefits in the whole life than you ever would inside of a mutual fund. But I want to show people how using a properly structured max funded index universal life plan, even for infinite banking or even for long-term usage for growing wealth, will even outpace a mutual fund and will even outpace a whole life policy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show actual returns in an S&P 500 mutual fund all the way back from 1960. And we're going to show an example of a 1-year-old, someone putting in $5,317, just like inside of Dave's example with this person for infinite banking, and what would happen inside of the mutual fund through S&P 500 and inside of a properly structured max funded IUL. Here we go. We have $5,317 going in. Right here we have actual S&P 500 returns all the way through, and then we have the growth of that mutual fund, and we have the growth of the properly structured IUL. By 65, based on actual S&P 500 performance, that mutual fund would have around $2.3 million. And the properly structured IUL would have an estimated $53.4 million of tax-free growth that this child could now use and access. You see, where Dave goes wrong is he's talking about that mutual fund getting 11% average return inside that plan. If you've been following me long enough, you understand the difference between actual and average rate of returns. Average returns are a liar. Actual returns make the biggest difference. Now, based on these projections, this kid would be able to take out $3.8 million tax-free for the rest of their life inside this plan. And the mutual fund can barely keep up for the first year. It's already out of money. Now, onto the infinite banking concept of everything. I'm going to show you how much money this kid is estimated to have by the time they're 20 to 25 if they wanted to buy real estate or start a business or anything for that matter. So as we can see here highlighted in blue, inside of that S&P 500 mutual fund, they'd have between $112,000 to $192,000 of tax-deferred money that they could use. Inside the IUL, $325,000 to $472,000 that they can now loan out to themselves tax-free. When we're loaning money out of these plans, we are going to loan money out of our net surrender value, and we're also going to loan it from the death benefit. The money sitting inside of the accumulated value at this point would be $317,000, and the $317,000 would stay whole, and it would continue to earn based on the index performance. And if it gets a 0, then obviously it doesn't earn any interest. Here, if we were to borrow money out of our mutual fund, you would owe tax. If the market loses, you still owe the money on that as well. So now this child is leveraging their money twice because it's still sitting in the index and it's still earning tax-free growth as if it never left. And they're able to take the $100,000 and buy real estate or investment properties or start a business or whatever it is that they want to do. This is the concept that Dave does not understand. Now, where I agreed with him though is using whole life. The reason why is because if you're borrowing money out of a whole life policy, most of the time they're going to charge you 4, 5, 6% to borrow that money out, and it can only ever earn 4%. So now at that point, you're getting a negative arbitrage. Where within a properly structured IUL, you're using uncapped indexes, and if you borrowed $100,000, your $317 would still be sitting there. And if the index did 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, the entire $317 accumulated value would earn that interest even though the loan came out of the plan. We also saw in the future of the plan, there's an estimated $53 million of tax-free growth that this child can now use. And even if the mutual fund got to $25 million, that's not a bad thing, but there's now a bunch of taxes owed on that. So would you rather have $25 million of tax deferred or $53 million of completely tax-free to the family and to that child no matter what? If you want to know more, you want to see the facts, hit the link in my bio, we can talk more.